Hello, this is your final podcast for Chapter 13. Remember, this chapter deals with the integrated marketing communications mix that includes the elements of advertising, public relations, and sales promotions. And at this point, you should know that I'm hoping you will be able to differentiate between those tools in the integrated marketing communications mix in terms of how they differ in terms of their characteristics and their objectives. With respect to sales promotions are specific programs that are designed to provide an immediate incentive to boost short-term sales. For example, these could be price promotions, buy one, get one free. They could be gift packs with purchase. For instance, subscribe to a new satellite or dish service and get a free gun, which is a promotion that was run down in the Bitterroot Valley. And these sales promotions can target either the users, the final consumers of the product. They can target channel members such as retailers or retail salespeople, or they can target a company's own salespeople. The key point here is that they're designed to boost short-term sales. There are two main types of sales promotions. Trade promotions are directed towards channel members, such as distributors and retailers. So if you were to draw a supply chain on your notes that depicts the flow of product from the manufacturer through the distribution channel intermediaries and with the final consumer or end customer on the right-hand side, you will see that the word trade essentially is a synonym for any channel member. There are many types of trade promotions that manufacturers give to resellers in order to direct their motivation and their selling energy towards that manufacturer's products. For example, merchandising allowances and case allowances are essentially quantity discounts that are provided either off the invoice or in terms of extra merchandise. Slotting fees have been introduced in Chapter 3 in our book, which are the cash payments that manufacturers make to retailers in order to get desirable shelf space. Cooperative advertising, we've also covered. Cooperative advertising is a fund that manufacturers set aside for each retailer. So it's like an escrow account for each retailer. And that fund is built up as a percentage of the purchases that the retailer makes of the advertiser's product. So if Apple Computer sells to Best Buy $100,000 worth of merchandise, Apple would set an escrow account for Best Buy in a particular percentage, perhaps 3% of sales into their co-op account, or 6%. Each co-op program differs. And then every time Best Buy runs an ad that features Apple product, the Best Buy marketing manager can send that ad and a copy of the invoice about how much the advertising cost, for example, to run in the Missoulian, and then Apple will cut a check to Best Buy to reimburse them for the cost of that advertising. This is considered a win-win promotion because while Apple is getting advertising presence in the local community, Best Buy is also advertising its store. Other types of trade promotion can include industry trade shows where manufacturers pay to exhibit their products, where all the retailers come to make buying decisions. For example, our computer-friendly stuff video showed trade shows in the computer industry and the toy industry, where that company, Computer Friendly Stuff, was meeting potential retail customers and taking orders. Promotional products are sometimes called swag, and these are items that have the manufacturer's name on them. So if you work in the automotive industry, these promotional products might include calendars that feature the manufacturer's product. Or if you're in the insurance industry, they might have pencils or pens. Point of purchase materials are materials that the manufacturer gives to the retailer, or sometimes the retailer has to pay for them out of their co-op, which essentially are signage and end-of-aisle displays, anything in the retailer store that draws attention to the manufacturer's product. And then finally, there are monetary incentives, typically in the form of contests, where salespeople get cash or prize incentives based on the number of units that they sell. Spiffs are a particular form of these incentives where the retail salesperson, say a snowboard salesperson at Bob Ward, for every 5 snowboards that salesperson sells on a weekly or monthly basis, they might earn $50 cash per snowboard, and that would be offered by a particular brand. Sometimes those spiffs are also in the form of merchandise. And I'll tell you right now, spiffs are hugely effective because retail salespeople are very motivated by the cash in their pocket. So you as a consumer, when you go into a store and you ask a salesperson for help, you should right away ask the question, are you getting spiffed on any of these products? Because it will let you know that that salesperson perhaps has a conflict of interest in selling you the product that's best for you. The other type of sales promotion is consumer sales promotion, and these are promotions that are targeted to you, the end user consumer. These promotions are categorized in terms of whether they give a price break to the customer, and we know from our pricing chapter that anytime the consumer gets a price break, it lowers the denominator of their equation of value, which gives them an incentive to buy. Coupons are self-evident. You have to take those into the store and present them to get your price off. Price deals are sometimes marked at the shelf. Rebates and refunds can be instant, or you may have to mail them back in order to get them. To the extent that rebates and refunds are delayed, they don't provide the same incentive. Loyalty programs, for instance, the airlines that when you get 25,000 miles, you get a free ticket. These are price-based in the sense that you get a freebie after some accumulation of purchases. And a bonus pack essentially is on the shelf and it's 30% more at the same price, or it could be a BOGO, buy one, get one, which all give you extra merchandise at the same price. Attention-getting consumer promotions try to increase visibility through typically giving away prizes. So contests and sweepstakes are, again, self-evident, where you enter your name in order to win a prize. And the prize typically should be related to the product that you're purchasing. And the prize should not be more valuable than the product itself, or somehow it should reinforce product usage. The worst attention-getting consumer promotions are where the prize overshadows the reason that you're buying the product in the first place, in which case there is no long-term change in consumer behavior. Premiums, the word for this is a gift with purchase. So this might be in the cosmetics industry where women go to department stores, and if they buy a certain dollar value of Clinique products, they might get a free makeup bag filled with samples. Or at the point of purchase, you might find that the premium comes inside the box, as in the case of children's cereal. Or sometimes you have to mail away for the premium. So Candy sometimes says if you mail in a certain number of box tops, you can get, a free toy. And then, of course, sampling is just free samples that are either given out at the point of purchase. Costco is famous for this. Or sometimes you can order samples online or through an 800 number. For instance, if women see makeup in cosmetics ads, they can send away for a sample. It's interesting that when we look at these consumer sales promotions, they are designed to provide this immediate boost in sales, but there are differential levels of effectiveness based on how much effort the consumer has to incur. For example, if you put a sample in consumers' hands, 80% of consumers will actually try the sample. 20% of them won't for whatever reason. Perhaps there was wasted coverage. And then of those, the question is how many then convert to actually buy the product on their own. A 20% conversion would be very, very high. Coupons have differential effectiveness. For instance, if the coupons are given at the point of purchase and they're matched to your purchase behavior, they have approximately a 10% redemption rate. But if coupons are placed in the paper, a 1 to 2% redemption rate would be considered high. So in terms of effectiveness, marketers who work in these industries have benchmarks for what they think is a reasonable conversion rate or usage rate based on these sales promotions. And then based on that incentive, how many of those consumers will actually convert into actual customers after the incentive is removed. Here we have just some various descriptions of the various promotion techniques. Now what's interesting is although your book does a very lovely job of describing sales promotions, it doesn't necessarily help you understand strategically what the pros and cons of these promotions are. This is the most critical aspect of your knowledge as a future marketing manager, which is to think strategically about the impact of these promotions. One of the largest concerns about using sales promotions is that customers become trained to be price sensitive, which means they're only willing to buy the product if in fact there is a deal. This is common in pizza markets where if you don't have a coupon for pizza, you're likely not to buy from that particular brand unless it's a specialty brand that you go to like Mackenzie River for special occasions. GM is very concerned right now that it has been overusing sales promotions to sell cars and that American consumers don't think that paying full price for an American car is worth it. And this is because GM has overused sales promotions. So that's the first bullet. Overuse of sales promotions makes consumers feel that the product is not worth full price, and the way marketers refer to this is it dilutes brand equity. In addition, sales promotions tend to create traps in the industry. And the way a trap works, it's like a prisoner's dilemma. A prisoner's dilemma essentially says if two people commit a crime and they're hauled into the police station to be interrogated, they're interrogated separately. And each person has the possibility of either confessing or denying the crime. And if both prisoners confess the crime, they both go to jail. And if neither prisoner confesses, they both get off free. But what ends up happening typically is because they don't know if the other person is going to tell on them, in which case they'll get immunity from prosecution, they both end up telling on each other. Now, how does this relate to sales promotion? Game theory, based on this prisoner's dilemma, is one of the most prevalent models that is used theoretically in explaining sales promotion effects. And essentially what this means is if the pizza company down the street offers a coupon, then I better offer a coupon, and we end up in a coupon war where neither of us can stop, even though all we're doing is diluting our brand equity and training our customers to be price sensitive over time. This happens in the airline industry. And I'll have to tell you right now it's going on between UM and MSU in terms of our enrollment battles, that we're both spending quite a bit of money to boost enrollment, and neither of us feels like we can necessarily stop doing that because of concerns. In addition, oftentimes in some industries, the temporary effect of the sales promotion is not worth the cost to actually run it. So what are the costs to run a promotion? We have to buy ads to place the coupon or tell consumers about the sweepstakes. We have to increase our volume of the inventory so that if our sales promotion is highly effective, we have to crank up our manufacturing, crank up our transportation, and load up our inventory at retailers. And this uneven operational effect does create bottlenecks in the production and operation system. And then the fact is, we sell these items at a discount because of the coupon, and we don't make full margin. So for many promotions, companies actually lose money on them, which is a function of the margin and how responsive consumers are to that price change. Now, the idea of borrowing from future sales. How many of you, when you see a good sale, you stock up on that item? So if all of a sudden I see that Fresca at the store has 3 12-packs for, I don't know, $11.99, maybe I'll buy 3 instead of the 1 or 2 I normally would buy. And does that mean I'm going to drink a lot more Fresca? No, it just means that I'm not going to need to buy Fresca now for a month. And again, what happens here is it costs a lot for the manufacturer to run the promotion, but then sales went up while the promotion was running, and then the period after the promotion, sales cratered. And so all that happens with many promotions, to the extent consumers can stockpile, is that they borrow from the sales in the next period, and it's really not worth it. And then finally, many customers buy products because they're loyal to the brand. And why is it that companies need to give an incentive to loyal customers who may be very willing to pay full price for the product because they're loyal? And it's hard at the point of purchase to say only brand switchers who are trying to get to try our product can take advantage of this price deal. So it's very difficult to segment promotional offers so that they target only new customers and not highly loyal customers. And even if this was the case, it does create ill will among loyal customers because they want to feel like they're getting the best deals. So you can see that the disadvantages of sales promotions do cause serious concerns, but because of this trap notion, companies overuse them. Other strategic issues to consider in sales promotion. Is the offer reinforcing loyalty to the product, or is it training customers to be price sensitive and loyal to the deal? Whatever is given away should reinforce the brand. So when this dish company ran the offer in the Bitterroot Valley to give away free guns when you signed up for a dish subscription, they were overwhelmed with demand because everybody wanted the free gun, and they really didn't care about the dish subscription. Similarly, McDonald's even runs into this sometimes when people rush in to buy their Happy Meals because they want the toy, but they're really not that into the product itself. And then finally, we've talked about wasted coverage. And different types of sales promotion reach different types of customers depending on how it's advertised. And so you already have your Venn diagram tools to talk about the pros and cons of who the offer reaches. That concludes our discussion of Chapter 13.